Today, I want to debunk 5 of the worst pieces of advice that I received as a contractor and the mistakes that it caused me. You do not want to miss this. All right, so if you want to be a successful contractor, making mistakes is a great way to learn, but learning from other people's mistakes is so much better. So I want to share with you the 5 big pieces of advice that I received in one form or another that just got me making mistakes. I wish I wouldn't have followed it, and I'm going to be sharing that with you today. As always, give this video a big thumbs, likes up. Best way to grow your contracting business is by subscribing to the channel below. So let's dive in. All right, so the first piece of advice that I want to debunk is always be selling. So you may have heard this before from different coaches or books out there, but always be selling, always be promoting yourself. There's a good way to sell and there's a bad way to sell, and always being salesy and trying to push and trying to make things happen, but in a way that's just clunky and outdated is not the way to go about it. So don't always be selling, always be caring, always be looking to provide value for your clients. Always trying to sell everything is a good way to get burnt out and get, just waste a whole bunch of time. I remember I had a coach who said, things were slow. He's like, just pick up the phone, just call everybody you know and make things happen. It's like, what kind of advice is that? So I ended up calling a lot of people, but I wasted so much time and I was so burnt out after it that I neglected my business and my existing clients that I had ongoing projects with. And I would not suggest that. Yes, you can build some fortitude by doing calls to your network, and you should be reaching out to people regularly, but you should be focusing, who are the top 5 people or 10 people. Call the big contractors, call the top, business people in your network, call your closest relationships. So make sure you're prioritizing and that you're always selling to your ideal client. Reaching 1 million people, yes, that's wonderful and great, and I hope you can do that, but you only need to reach maybe 100 of your ideal client to get booked up for the entire year. So you have to figure out who is your ideal client and be selling to them, not just everybody. You want to be using the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your effort. So where can you focus that 20% of less time, 20% of your time, so 80% less time, but you still get 80% of the results. So always be selling, don't follow it, be strategic and sell in a humane way. Moving on, does that make sense? Number 2. So number 2 is work harder. Hustle culture. You want to be a millionaire, you want to be a decabillionaire, whatever it is. You got to hustle, you got to push hard. I've got a news flash. The poorest people in the world and the richest people in the world both work hard, okay? Everybody works hard, typically. Yes, there's lazy people out there that aren't going to get ahead and just kind of mooch off whatever society and things. Not going to get into that, but there are workers who are making minimum wage who are working just as hard as you are running a business. Yes, running a business is much harder to do, hence few people can actually do it successfully, but working hard and just hustle is not a way to grow a business, is not a way to be successful. That is not success. Sometimes, especially in a startup of a business or when you're getting traction your first few years as a contractor, yes, you've got to hustle, you got to put in long hours, you've got to work hard. You want to be working on keeping expenses low. You want to be working hard on making sure your lifestyle is fitting with your business. You want to be working hard on creating systems, creating long-term relationships, long-term networks. So make sure you're working hard on the right things that are going to give you payoff. Long-term thinking is what you want to be working hard on. Always be thinking long-term, not like, oh, my employee didn't show up today, so I've got to jump on the tools and get this done for the client and yada, 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 and on and on. No, you need to take a step back and really do the hard work of using your brain to figure out, why did he not show up for work? What could I have done as a contingency to make sure that, it wasn't so critical that he was there that day? So make sure you're working hard, but on the right things, and you're not just spinning your wheels and, 5 years go by and you're still, barely growing your business. So that's number 2, working harder. Bad advice. You need to work smarter, as everyone knows, but you need to work hard on smart things. So easy to say, not always easy to implement, but that's the point. Number 3, moving on, positive thinking. So just because you think things are going to go good and it's this rosy world of the business sucks now. Yeah, we didn't have a good experience for that client. Yeah, we're not making any money now, but in the future we will. We just got to keep pushing, working harder, keep selling. That kind of stuff is for sure, again, just going to make you worn out. It's not going to really benefit you. What you want is positive action. So really be, again, doing that work of thinking of like, what is, financially savvy for me to do? Not just thinking that, oh, I can go and buy something, a new boat, a new home, I got a bunch of new contracts, so now I'm doing good. And, like just, everything is great. Or if when things are going bad, that everything's going to turn around, well. You want to make sure you're always taking positive action. Yes, think positive. Don't get depressed about what's going on, or negative in your thinking. You want to stay positive, but positive thinking and in and of itself is not going to get you where you want to be. You need to be financially savvy. You need to put on your real world glasses of like, why am I not making money? Why is this going bad? Why is that client upset with me? Why are my employees keep quitting after 3 months? Why can't I find decent guys? So really, look into those kind of things instead of just thinking that, oh, the next guy is going to be good, or I have a good feeling about this. Like, you need to get something more concrete than that. Drop a comment below if you have reaction to any of these, or you think differently. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or just drop a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of which, piece of advice really stuck with you the most. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Make sure you stay to the end. Each one of these is critical. Each one of these I have made the mistake of many times, and it's cost me years probably of progress, or hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially. So make sure you're really paying attention to all of these. Number 4 is fast estimating and markups. So if you've seen some of my other videos, I'm all about rapid estimating. I understand how tedious and boring and how much time you can sink into estimating and meeting with clients and all that stuff, but just estimating fast. And I've had this advice again from someone who I really trusted a lot, and he's again just trying to push progress, but misguided in the way that I don't think he understood the contracting space very well. But essentially just figure out how much it's going to cost you, throw in a bunch of time, add 15% onto that, then put your markup and send that out, and go nail some boxes on the wall, or set up some cabinets and put in some flooring. Just always trying to move things too fast, or kind of hack stuff together, especially with your estimating and markup, is a sure way to really lose money. If you know something about real estate investing, which you may have heard of, you make your money when you buy a property because you can sell it for more. If you got a good deal on a house, in a year or two you can sell it for more because you got a deal on it. With estimating, it's similar. Not that you're looking to get deals on your estimating, but if you've priced things competitively but with a big enough chunk of a markup, and you've done it accurately, that come time to do the project, you're going to make money on the project. If you've just run through your estimating quickly, and you've maybe forgot a markup, you forgot a scope of work, maybe you forgot a couple things here or there, or you didn't look at your previous projects for pricing or whatever. There's a lot of mistakes that can be done in estimating, so trying to do them too quick or cutting corners will lead you to financial destruction later on. And it often leaves contractors scratching their heads like, we just finished this 5 months project, but I don't think I made any money on it, or my bank account still looks like pretty sparse. I thought I was going to make $30,000 on this project, but I've got really nothing to show. So that is often what's happened. Is it's not so much that the project has not gone well. Maybe there's been inefficiencies and mistakes that can be kind of buttoned up, but usually it means that you didn't start off on the right foot because your estimate was in the wrong place. So, and by going to actuals and having a system and process in place for estimating, knowing that, hey, on the last 5 renovations, we've gone over on carpentry every single time, I should put more into my budget, or I should be looking at how I can speed up that process or something like that. So there's a lot of things that go into it. Plus, you can't delegate a bad estimating system. So if you're always quickly back of the napkin, or just quickly throwing numbers together and doing it all in your head, or giving out ballpark estimates and stuff like that, that's not a delegatable system. You'll be doing that till you've close up your business, because you can't teach someone else your system effectively if you don't have a process, if you don't have something to give and train somebody else on. So not to go off on a whole nother tangent there, but too quick of estimating, big mistake, cost me a ton of money, cost a lot of contractors a lot of money. Estimating is so critical because it sets up the whole project and your business for success. So does that make sense? We're getting there. Moving on to number 5. This is the last one of these big 5 here. Such important advice that I wish I would have not not taken. And the last one is invest with debt. So I'm sure you've heard this out there. Real estate is notorious for this. And yes, there are ways to do it, but generally speaking, as a contractor, you should not be investing money through debt. So if you're in a little bit hard times financially, getting a loan or finding some sort of means of financing or getting a bunch of deposits from clients and then using that to run your business is a sure way to, hit that iceberg and sink your ship, because it puts you in a really bad place. It makes you fragile as a company. One good iceberg comes along and you're toast, or maybe a client doesn't pay, you're toast. So be very careful with debt and investing. And there are a lot of maybe gurus out there that, say, you can leverage your debt and you can grow faster, you can expand rapidly and hire people. If you're not making money at like whatever level you're at now, if you double your business, you're going to be twice as busy and you're going to be making probably less money, because your systems, your processes, your people, they can't keep up with like doubling your business right now. Your business is structured as, a certain size of business. If you just expand to, twice the people or hire a bunch of people and bring in a whole bunch of new projects or move into like new industry segments and stuff like that, there's going to be friction, there's going to be lost money, there's going to be mismanagement, there's going to be a whole bunch of really a lot of your time tied up in just the growth and trying to manage everything. So be really wary of that. Stay financially healthy and don't worry about growing a little bit slower. Even if you need to like watch your finances and you don't have money for something right now, it's going to build fortitude, it's going to build a stronger business, and it's going to help you come up with new ways and new efficiencies of getting things done and still growing, but in a much more sustainable way that is less risky to you. Trust me, any experienced business owner is going to know how to manage risk, and that's a big kind of blind side of a lot of contractors. Myself, when I started my business, I was very blind to risk. I was on that positive thinking train of like, I'll just work hard, I'll do a bunch of sales, we'll grow, we'll go into this kind of contracting and this one and investing and all this stuff, and before long I'll be a millionaire, right? So yes, that's great, have big ambitions, you can get there, but make sure you're also thinking about risk. And as always, check out the links in the description below. I've got an amazing course in there, full masterclass on how to systematize the business, how to set that foundation of systems so you can grow, expand, and scale your business without it falling over, getting in hot water, and lots of other great videos here coming out every week. Make sure you're watching the videos to grow your contracting business. Here's to your success and avoiding those big five.